John, off the back of a tough away Banks of D, but through to the next round of the Scottish Cup and a home draw in the next round against Musselburgh, what's your thoughts kind of following the game and on the draw itself?
Obviously, after the game, the most important thing was to get through. We said that on Saturday morning, and again, when we look at it on Monday, when we reflect, I don't think the second half performance is anywhere near the levels that we can get to, but the main thing is we were in the draw for the next round. Again, it's a home tie in the next round. We play Musselburgh here, so first and foremost delighted to get a home tie. We don't know much about Musselburgh. We'll spend a bit of time over the next month or so studying them and seeing where they are. And it's, again, any home tie, that's what you're looking for. It's an opportunity to get into the next round, but we need to make sure that we give them the respect that they deserve, and we've got a lot of games between now and then. So again, looking forward to it. There was lots of big teams still left in it near the end, and it could have went anywhere, but the most important thing for ourselves was getting a tie at home.
And obviously just after the Banks of D game, we had another injury concern. Obviously Dylan came off, but it looked like a dislocated shoulder, as you mentioned afterwards. How has he been this week? What's the story behind him?
Right, so Dylan obviously to go to hospital. They never had a doctor on site on Saturday, so it was quite difficult for the physio to put back in, so he had to be sedated and shoulder pushed back into place. It was the best dislocation he could get, and it's obviously still tender and still sore. Dylan's determined to be able to play tomorrow, which is obviously pleasing. He hadn't trained all week, been able to do some stuff this morning, so we'll see how sore he is and how annoyed it is. But he seems pretty positive about it, so again quite fortunate, because just now in that area we have had a lot of injuries, so hopefully Dylan's okay for tomorrow, and we'll see how he reacts after that.
And we spoke after the game as well, as frustrating as injuries can be. The likes of Kyle McDonald and Barry Maguire will come back in and play a number of positions. How important is that be, especially in training this week with the limited numbers?
Obviously the right centre back seems to be cursed. I think that's our 9th injury this season in different aspects of it. Not the 9th player, but obviously reoccurring. So that's disappointing. But again, as we say, Maka coming back off after a lengthy spell out, and Barry obviously coming back off the back of a month out as well. The two of them coming back into the fold last week, I thought they settled us down when we made the change later on in the game. So again, pleased to have them back, and it gives us options in that area. So again, pleased that we get those two to call on. They're a different type from what we have available to us, just or had available to us. Aggressive, quick, strong, and the both of them are in the peak of their career. So having them back certainly makes us stronger, albeit they're not recognised in that area, but they're more than capable of fulfilling that area just now. So again, it helps the squad.
And now we're shifting our focus back onto league action. How's training been this week? What's the message been ahead of another tough game of week?
Yeah, so obviously this week's all been about the league, getting back to league business. As I said, we were disappointed with the second half performance last week, but can't take it away. The job in hand was to get in the next round. So we're aware, and I've made the players aware this week of how impressive Dunfermline's home record is. I think the 3 wins come at East End. Obviously they've got a big crowd behind one of the goals there, and they're passionate supporters as well, so they're a big club in this division, and we need to go there and be fully aware of their strengths and make sure that we're at it. I don't think we hit the levels that we could have hit last weekend, and we have to be ready again tomorrow for that. Obviously you've got to give Dunfermline the respect they deserve as well. Being in this league, they've got lots of experienced players at a higher level. David Witherspoon sticks out for me, one with hugely experience and won major trophies in this country. So we need to be ready for that and raise our game to that, but be mindful of how much of a threat they are at East End, and make sure that we do all the fundamentals right, that of an away performance where we're aggressive, we're quick, we're hard to play against, and don't give opportunities up lightly.
And as you say there, it's about giving Dunfermline the respect they deserve, but it's also about imposing how we want to play onto the game as well. So what have you been saying about that, Julian? Yeah,
so obviously I think we need to be more ruthless when we're going forward. I think we've seen that against Airdrie in an away game, but I also think that we didn't see that side of us against Thistle. So again, we speak about consistency and getting that consistency, especially when we're away from home, because it's a different type of game, and making sure that we're on the front foot. We've done a lot of work on that and making sure that we get people in forward areas and able to expose them where we think that will happen. Likewise, we've had to work on where their strengths are, and I've touched on that anyway. and it's a case of making sure that we go there and fulfil the game plan and make sure that we know what our individual duties are and individual jobs are and play to our strengths. I'm very much a case of this week it's been a case of simplify it. What is our strengths? Make sure that we play to them and don't vary them. If you're a centre back and your job's to head and kick it. Don't step in and try and beat a player at defence split and pass. If your job's a winger, put the ball in the box, beat somebody. It doesn't need to be a case of you need to beat 10 men run across the pitch with it. So it's simplifying your own specific roles and making sure that we do our jobs on Saturday that we're requested to do.
And just finally, I mentioned to the fans as well, we've seen how important they can be for games, especially away from home as well. What would be your message to them ahead of tomorrow?
Yeah, so obviously last week they were frustrated, and I get that, I totally understand that, but that's going to happen throughout the season. They're going to be frustrated and they're not always going to go home happy. Obviously last weekend we now get the home tie in the Scottish Cup, and they've always wanted that. I think they're hugely important to the club and hugely important to the players. That encouragement can go so far. I think we saw that in the first half, and of course that frustration builds. Tomorrow I hope they can get behind us, bring that encouragement, bring that noise that we've seen in various away games this season. I think when I look back at it, Raith Rovers was a huge moment when they stuck with us right to the end. Again at Airdrie when we started the game really well. So their backing is necessary, we need it, and we love the noise that they bring and the encouragement. The players respond to that, and if they can do that tomorrow and bring that noise, then hopefully they can put on a performance that they're pleased with and put them home happy.
Brilliant, thanks John.
Cheers, thank you.